Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick, Empire Season 2, Episode 2, Without a Country, Jayar Jackson, William Bibbiani, Alonso Duralde. Luda, do not cross him. Or I guess you do.
This prison guard is ludicrous. he's very mean.
Yeah, not nice.
Yeah.
Not nice to Ludacris.
I don't see Ludacris in many things, but when you do, he's a great actor. I think
He's rock solid, actually. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
A lot of times he surprises you with the kind of character he's going to be. I'm forgetting the movie right now, but when he's basically a carjacker or a thief, but then
Crash.
Crash. I wouldn't say Traffic, but it was Crash. Yeah.
Crash was not his fault.
Yeah, and it's so, like when it was leading up to him, I was like, this guy's talking about the stereotypes and everything, and then he surprised you, and he did it again. And this, I was like, what's Luda going to be here? I see him standing over there. Is he going to be helpful? No, he's not.
Wouldn't that be great? Because there's that moment like when it's just like, oh, that person's played by that lawyer's played by Andre Arroyo. He's going to be important later. Like just once I like to see like the guard's played by Ludacris, and then we just never mention it. Like he's just a glorified extra. It's like so. I wanted to be an Empire, and they didn't have a good role for me.
Dave was kind of walking through, and he goes, so this season, every black actor in Hollywood's going to be on this show? And I said, fingers crossed.
Right? Awesome. It was great.
We started making lists, like, we want Lorraine Toussaint on this show. Like, you know, let's really bring it out.
I like, God, the whole prison subplot was fun, and I liked when it was good. I'm a critic.
Okay, what did you not like?
Here's what I didn't like. Here's what I didn't like in the prison thing. It's when the guard says, okay, I got your equipment here, okay? You got 65 minutes to record this song, so make it quick. And then they nail it on the first take.
We don't know that was the first take.
Yes, we do. We didn't see any other takes.
And then, compression of time through editing.
Also, I'm going to say this right now. Lucious, I know you're a professional and you know what you're doing, but never put a police siren on a song. We've all, right? How many times have you been driving around? It's like, oh, shit, I guess I'd better pull over. Damn it, Lucious. You got me again. Hate it when they do that.
I was very into the familial machinations of this episode. Maybe more so than the prison stuff, although I didn't hate the prison stuff. But the whole notion of, all right, we're going to start our own company. I love the matching fold-up boxes with the plants in them with the Empire logo.
I really want to know.
This show covers all their bases.
I really want to know what was in Hakeem's box. Because I just want to know, is like, what does he have in there? Like a stapler? Like, I never see him at a desk.
Back issues of Vibe, I don't know.
He had an office? Like, where did he have an office from?
I guess the one question I have is, I think Anika, she continues to get misused and kicked out and then accepted and then kicked back out again.
Right.
So and then bouncing from one label to the next. Where is she going to land? As she just walked out, it seemed like almost forget about that character. But she's obviously an intricate part of the show.
I kind of feel like she knows to walk out of the room when Cookie tells her to, and then everybody else is like, yeah, just go next door. As long as she doesn't see you, you know. So I suspect she's still at the other label.
There's such a broad cast of characters, and they all have such big personalities that sometimes, even in the first season, people get sort of pushed aside for a while. There were a couple episodes where Hakeem wasn't doing anything of interest, and then they figured out what to do with him, or they positioned him to be in a different place. So I'm hoping that it all comes together. I am happy, speaking of characters, what are they going to do? Tiana is back. Because we were talking about they had a big lesbian party and they didn't invite her last week. So we have her back now. And if wearing nothing but nude stockings and like bikini underwear, the color of your pubes, isn't the thing now, can it be? Because I got to tell you, there have been times on this show where I was watching like Jamal and his sort of Prince music video. This is all of the above. Like, and I was just like, oh, I'm gay now. Oh, this is awesome. This is great. And then I saw Tiana and those, and I was just like, and I'm straight again. Oh man, I never know what's gonna happen next on Empire. It's great.
I was conflicted about that outfit. You're right. What I think the theme they were going with, I like to see the bigger theme of the whole show. It looks like, of course, when they split off and try and start their own company, it kind of highlights why, which we were surprised about when Jamal got the company, when he got Empire, it could have probably been the right choice. Look at the way that everyone else would have clowned it. I mean, maybe not necessarily Cookie, but the way the other two sons clowned things, and then he would have fallen apart. All of a sudden, Hakeem wants a girl group. and he brings in these horrible auditions. So then,
Rainbow sensation, please.
and he's actually listening to folks. And then the actual singers like JoJo, is that who it was that came in, the short one who he ended up hooking up with?
It was Valentina. I know the character's name.
But her actual,
I think so.
Someone told me that because I recognized her, but I couldn't recognize her. So then, obviously, it always leads to sex with whoever he is that actually is talented. So he ends up being very self-serving, and maybe that wouldn't have worked for Empire.
Yeah.
So everyone seems to be the problem, but then now we have Jamal just turning into Lucious, though, as we already know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I
who's
think
going to actually do this right?
The whole notion of the one of you is taking over the company is, of course, always doomed to disaster.
Right.
And if Lucious were smarter, and I think the show is probably eventually building us to this place where you really kind of need elements of all three of them to run Empire. Like Jamal.
I'm sorry, yeah, guitar.
Well, like Jamal seems to be the kind of the calm, cool center.
Well, he's the talent, really.
Yeah,
more
that
than
too.
even Hakeem,
You know, Hakeem is very much is plugged into what the kids want, and Andre is has
business sense.
Has the business sense, exactly. And he is obviously also volatile and needs to be on his meds and all that stuff. But the three of them together, I think, could actually have a company that works.
And of course,
so
Cookie is studio magic.
There you go.
Yeah.
But when you bust it all apart, then it's just everybody's kind of going into their worst instincts and their own sort of self-serving things. I loved the scene where Andre goes to prison to sort of abate himself in front of Lucious to come back to the company. It was a very kind of prodigal son moment of like, he gets to come back and you're going to screw me over.
Well, but the way that scene plays out is like, all these people, they disrespect you, they do all these horrible things. I'm coming to you, and I'm
supplicating.
I'm supplicating, and that right there is like, and that's why he doesn't respect you. That's why you don't get to run the companies, because you ain't nothing but
you got hat in hand.
Yeah.
So that was the question. I mean, that was my one question on this episode. What was the flashback about? I was like, I need some enlightenment here.
Itsy Spider? Who was that?
And then when he saw that, he's like, yeah, fuck you, son. So where was...
Okay, here's my read on that. That was obviously young Lucious.
Well,
right.
Whatever his
Oh, it was young
Dwight.
Lucious.
Dwight.
Okay.
Dwight, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dick Whitman, whatever, his old name. And the mother obviously was, I couldn't tell if she was either in fear of the father or was like thinking about drugs, but I mean, like one of the two, she was clearly not focusing on the kid, and it was that lack of focus that he noticed.
It's not a very clear flashback, though.
Well,
let's be honest here.
But I think it might be sort of the opening salvo in an oncoming series of flashbacks that will, in aggregate, mean more.
Potentially, but it was very odd, and I rewound it actually. I was
I
like,
did too.
like, Aunt Carol? Who is that? We brought up something we were talking about the big picture and about how starting up Lion Dynasty, which by the way, just call it Dynasty. Dynasty, you don't need to be Lion Dynasty. Why even like associate yourself with Empire? But anyway, I was thinking about last season when Jamal says, "You can take your money. I don't want your money." Turn it into a song. But he found sort of a creative inspiration in being away from Empire, having to build himself up from his bootstraps. Yeah, it only took him a week, but still, like I feel like what we have here is potentially Hakeem going to be able to do the same thing. He actively gets to choose.
Right.
He wasn't forced out again. This time he's actually choosing to try to be small. And yeah, he'll still have sex with like the person who's going to get the audition is the only person who's auto-tuned.
Yeah.
Like that's what I love is when everyone's able to auto-tune themselves.
There's a lot of auto-tuning on this show.
And that's why they're stars. You watch the pilot, there's so much less auto-tuning in the pilot because they have more time, I imagine.
Yeah.
They just, there's not a lot of time to get it perfect.
Because even Jamal has started auto-tuning lately, which he used to not.
The song Jamal plays on Spilling the Tea, which is a terrible name for anything, is there's like this one break where it goes just like... just like overproduced. Dial it back. Dial way the fuck back, Jamal. Come on, what the hell?
This episode was directed by Dee Reese, who did Pariah and the HBO movie Bessie, who is a really terrific young female filmmaker. I liked the whole opening split-screen phone montage that was going on.
That was fun.
Although I have to say, again, calling back to Eileen Chaikin and the L Word, there is an episode later on in the show that opens with a 12-minute cell phone split screen montage between about 10 or 11 characters. That is one of the greatest things I've ever seen on TV.
Okay, so it's good because that sounds like it could be either great or terrible.
No, it's great. It keeps rolling. I'll dig up the episode name and send it to you because it's stunning. But for Fox level, I thought this was very well done. And yeah, I'm very excited to see Andre Royo back on television. That's
I
awesome.
love Andre Royo.
Yeah.
I love Andre Royo more than certain members of my own family.
I think we should go with the prediction time on what could
Okay.
happen. Because
Oh,
I think
man.
we see a little bit of a devastating riff when Andre first gets rejected, as we talked about, from the prison visit
Right.
by Lucious. But his wife goes to Jamal and breaks the news, and he's all about it. Something has to come together where eventually the meeting has to happen where he said, I'm bringing Andre back in. No, you're not, son. Now there's going to be a new problem between the two best friends.
I'm waiting. Andre is such a wild card because he's dangerous. He's actually a dangerous human being, not just because he can be a jerk, but because he's mentally ill.
blacks out.
He blacks out. He has problems. I don't trust him. And I feel like not giving him what he wants is a recipe for serial killer subplot somewhere down the road.
Yeah,
Someone's killing all of Empire's biggest stars.
I'm trying to think in terms of nighttime soap. Like, is that kid gonna get born? Because pregnancies don't do so hot on nighttime soaps, generally speaking. Someone's getting pushed out of a barn or things happen, and so I just
I like that prediction.
I'm
The
worried
reason-
about that kid.
Especially since she begged 3 times. This has to stay between you and I. Please don't tell him I came to you. It could be really bad if he finds out. So he's gonna find out.
Yeah.
First off, so my prediction being, since I didn't give any, he's gonna get back in, but then he's gonna later find out why when he thinks he did it on his own merit or somehow something worked that he did.
Right.
But his
Yeah.
wife actually did it with some sympathy.
Also, let's not forget she's a murderer, and that might always pop up again
Who
somewhere.
isn't a murderer on the show again? Because Cookie's a murderer and Lucius is a murderer a couple of times over.
Jamal hasn't killed anyone yet.
Yes,
Yes.
almost did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost
That's
there.
true. He did hold Gerald Nelson upside down. I
We
forgot.
talked on the last episode of What the Flick where who's sort of we supposed to root for, and we all sort of agreed that Jamal is kind of the one. Hakeem is a dork, but he's not evil. I think we didn't give him enough credit. He's hilariously dumb sometimes.
He's a bit of a ninny, and
Yeah.
the idea of going to Tiana and saying, "Hey, want to be in a girl group?" No, I don't. Actually, I have a solo career, but thanks for asking anyway.
And I will say that after the last episode, which was a good episode, and I liked the first episode of the season a lot. 2 rock solid songs in this episode. Between, of course, "You Ain't Nothing But a Snitch Bitch,"
Right.
"A Snitch and Ass Bitch," which just the lyrics alone. But then also Tiana's "Let Me Introduce You to the New and Improved Brand New Ooh. You Didn't Want It When You Had It. That's cool. Now I've gone from 1 to the 2 2.0. 2.0.
We're going to leave it there. We'll be back next week with more Empire. We hope you'll join us.